Have you ever thought about actually wanting to study? Like opening a book with the same excitement you feel when scrolling through TikTok or hitting play on just one more episode of that addictive series. Sounds impossible, right? I used to think so too, until I figured out how to hack my brain to genuinely love studying. And no, I didn't have to meditate in a cave for 5 years or sip some magical productivity tea imported from the Himalayas. All I did was use real science, neuroscience to be exact, and reprogram my habits. The result? Studying stopped being a burden and started to feel like a positive addiction. Now, I want to share these tricks with you. They're simple, practical, and totally doable in your daily routine, even if you're the type who gets distracted by a fly buzzing by. Here are 6 powerful hacks to make your brain crave studying like it's a guilty pleasure. Step 1. Dopamine hijack. Make studying feel as rewarding as your favorite social media apps. Your brain runs on dopamine, that feel-good chemical that makes you chase instant rewards. That's why you get the urge to check notifications, watch short videos, binge reels. But what if, instead of fighting it, we use that to our advantage? The strategy: hijack your dopamine system. Here's how. Temptation bundling. Pair studying with pleasures you already enjoy. For example, only listen to your favorite playlist while you're studying. Only have that amazing coffee or top-tier snack during your study sessions. Only sit in your coziest spot if it's to actually study. Over time, your brain starts associating studying with good feelings. And guess what? It'll start wanting more. Over time, your brain begins to associate studying with positive sensations. What once felt like a sacrifice gradually transforms into a pleasurable and even rewarding habit. The key lies in creating a pleasant emotional atmosphere around the act of studying. Extra tip: use small but frequent rewards. Finished a chapter? Celebrate with a square of chocolate. Studied for 30 minutes? Allow yourself to scroll through your phone feed for 3 minutes, but with a timer. No getting lost in time. These little rewards trigger dopamine, the pleasure neurotransmitter, reinforcing the feeling of achievement. Also use physical to-do lists. Checking off each completed item releases a dose of instant satisfaction and gives you a concrete sense of progress. Your brain loves that, the secret instant gratification with conscious control. Your brain needs small, positive stimuli to keep motivation alive. Step 2. The just one more thing effect. Trick yourself into studying longer. Have you ever said just one more episode and suddenly realized it was 3 a.m.? Now it's time to use that same mechanism in your favor. Instead of saying, I need to study for 3 hours, tell yourself, I'll just do 1 page, just one. This removes the pressure. The brain relaxes because it feels like it's not being forced. But here's the trick. Once you start, continuing becomes much easier. The beginning is always the hardest part, and this strategy gives you just the push you need. Bonus tip: end your study session in the middle of something interesting. Leave a resolution open, like when you pause a Netflix episode at its climax. The brain hates unfinished stories, and that creates a desire to come back the next day. Studying can feel like following a binge-worthy series full of cliffhangers, curiosity, and anticipation. Step 3. Turn it into a game, because your brain loves to win. Have you noticed how addictive video games are? They offer constant progress, rewards, levels. So why not apply the same logic to studying? Create a point system. For example, 10 XP per Pomodoro, 50 XP per finished chapter, 100 XP for a high grade. Once you hit 500 XP, reward yourself. A movie night, a fancy coffee, a fun outing. Visualize your progress like a video game scoreboard. Level up. And never break the streak of productive days. This sense of continuity activates your internal motivation. Use apps like Forest, plant trees while you study, or Habitica, which turns tasks into RPG quests. That way, studying stops being an obligation and becomes an epic journey filled with challenges, rewards, and constant growth. Believe it, learning can be as engaging as a well-designed game. Step 4. The positive brainwash method. Want to study with more ease and consistency? Make your brain play on your team. The secret is simple yet powerful. Make studying part of your identity. Think about it. Why do some people enjoy going to the gym? Because it's not just an item on their to-do list, it's who they are. They see themselves as gym goers, and you need to start seeing yourself as someone who loves learning. So instead of saying, I have to study, tell yourself, I'm the kind of person who enjoys learning. It might feel forced at first, maybe even a little fake. But trust me, repeating this often rewires your brain. Little by little, this idea settles into your system, and studying stops feeling like a burden. It becomes part of who you are. Other effective ways to positively brainwash yourself. Say it out loud, even if it feels fake at first. I like studying. Change your phone wallpaper to something that reflects your goals, a motivational quote, a geeky symbol, or even a board showing your visible goals. Stick post-it notes to your mirror with messages like, I am disciplined, studying gives me power, learning is my lifestyle. Also, start following content creators who focus on studying, productivity, and focus. On YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever, what you consume daily shapes your mindset. If your feed is filled with messages that reinforce the value of learning, your brain begins to accept that as normal. That becomes you. When studying becomes part of your identity, it flows naturally. You don't have to force yourself so much. It almost becomes automatic. Step 5. Turn boredom into your superpower. Here's a truth nobody tells you. The problem isn't that you lack focus, it's that your brain is addicted to fast, constant stimulation. TikTok, Reels, notifications, all of that is burning out the dopamine receptors that are supposed to help you concentrate. If studying feels boring, the villain isn't the material, it's the overload of distractions. But there's a solution: dopamine detox. Before opening your notebook, do a mental cleanup. Spend 30 minutes away from all digital distractions. No phone, no scrolling, no short videos. Just silence, calm and breathing. This cleansing time resets your mind. It's like rebooting the system. Suddenly, studying starts to feel interesting, and over time, even enjoyable. Your brain needs to relearn how to focus, and you can teach it. Use the boredom trick to your advantage. Before you start studying, sit in silence for 5 minutes, away from any kind of stimulation. No music, no screens, no conversations. This moment of complete disconnection will make your brain so bored that in seeking something to occupy itself, it will naturally start craving a task. That's when you introduce studying as the solution, and just like that, you automatically switch into focus mode. Boom, you're ready to study. Low dopamine mornings. Avoid social media first thing in the morning. If the first thing your brain gets is a dopamine overload from platforms like Instagram, everything else that follows will seem dull. In this scenario, studying becomes unbearable. By avoiding excessive stimulation early on, you reprogram your brain to find joy in simpler activities like learning. This shift will make studying more satisfying and less overwhelming. Final takeaway. Your plan to get addicted to studying. Here's a 6-step formula to rewire your brain and build a real passion for studying. 1. Dopamine trick. Associate studying with small, immediate rewards to create a cycle of pleasure. 2. Start small. Study a single page, a sentence, or even just one question. Gradually build momentum and confidence. 3. Gamify. Turn studying into a game. Use points, daily goals, timers, or streaks to make each session more engaging. 4. Identity. Visualize yourself as a person who studies. This simple mindset shift can transform your routine and results. 5. Detox. Eliminate digital and physical distractions to train your brain for deep focus, creating an environment that supports learning. 6. Embrace boredom. Use silence and the absence of stimulation as a launchpad to concentrate and reach deeper levels of focus. With this approach, studying will become a more enjoyable activity and naturally integrate into your daily life. This plan is simple but powerful. If you stick with it, studying will stop feeling like a chore and start becoming an addictive habit. Try just one of these today and see how your motivation changes. Your next step, comment below which trick you're going to try. I actually read all the comments. Subscribe, because next time we're diving even deeper into brain hacks that make studying effortless. Share this video with someone who still thinks studying is boring. They'll thank you in fluent French. Until next time, study smart, not hard.